Hey there, Oracle of 4D Story here. I am going to introduce you and start introducing you to some of my 4D characters that we're utilizing in different ways. And I just want to open up your mind to what you can do. I'll do a video on this later, but if you're aware, there are avatars being created by teams, marketing teams, digital teams that are going on social media and becoming brand ambassadors and making quite a bit of money. You may not have that capability. I don't have a team that big to where I can perform at that level either. But I've devised a way that you can create characters and use them in your own business, use them to promote your own self, use them in a million different ways. And I believe that 4D Story encompasses an ecosystem that someday will prove to be the scaffolding for all these characters, just because of its nature. As I introduce you to these characters, I'm hoping that you will get to better understand how this all works, and also hopefully empower you to create your own characters and use them in your own business. And these characters, the key to these characters, especially my characters, 4D characters, is that they actually come to life. Because I come at it from a different perspective. I come at it from the character's perspective, and I'm allowing the character to existentially, myself to existentially live through the character. But also the world, like the society and current events and just everything about what goes on in technology. It all affects the character. And so what ends up happening is that character starts to actually take up space in the ethereal world. But if you're in the ethereal world with them, then it makes sense. And so, all right, let's not get too far off base. This here is Alaric Spicebloom. I created him to promote and for him to be part of the Chef Heart Friendship Pod, which we've created. You can find that at Chef Heart, CHEFHE.ART. Chef Heart is just a Web3 community that provides you with recipes that if you follow their recipes, you'll eat healthier, lose weight, gain muscle. Well, I don't know if eating gains you muscle, but it gives you more energy. It just makes it, and they're good recipes. But to follow that up, we also add spices, an entire spice replenishment program to that. And the way this whole Web3 community is designed supports our Friendship Pod model. So layer after layer, this here character represents a lot that's going on in this world, and I'll tell you, it's perfectly fit for him. He fits in that world better than we fit in this digital world, so he becomes like a liaison to the community and to the rest of the world. So I want to introduce you to him because I want you to meet him, and then I'm going to introduce you to a rock and roll alien, and then I'm going to introduce you to a whole bunch of other characters. And I can create these characters, and so can you, in a matter of minutes, and they can take on a full-on form. And then if you upload them at 4D Story, they become part of a community and then can be leveraged and monetized, and things can happen there. But that's another story for another day. I'm going to let Alaric introduce himself, and of course we use AI for all this, and as you follow me, I'll give you tips and insights on how that happens. But I would really have liked to taken the time to put Alaric in a much more congenial scene. I was thinking about putting him on a video screen and talking to him from a conference room, kind of like I was interviewing him. I simply don't have time for some of these extra things in just these type of videos. I will do them as scenes that I put out on social media. So if you follow Nightshades, which is the 4D story that a lot of these intersect with, 40 nightshades.fans, F-A-N-S, you can go there and sign up and become a follower, or through that process become a participant in 4D story, etc. And Alaric lives in that 4D world. He's part of that 4D story, and the the theme, the thing that he promotes are these spices within his spice clan, of whom there are several wizards that are that are part of this spice clan. Here is one of them, Thistle Beard Bramble Pot. That's his name, and we use him. He is also the one you'll see on our logo a lot of times. Alaric is kind of our primary spice wizard, and we utilize Alaric to he is in our email, our newsletter. And it's not just Alaric by himself, but he presents the whole newsletter and gives in his wording information that we find pertinent to what we're doing at Chef Heart. And then as well, since we're bouncing around here, this all works because he has a persona-aware profile. And I'm going to show you how that comes about in a little bit. So let's meet Alaric real quickly. So that's Alaric. And I really hope his voice came through because I had my headphones plugged in. I believe it would. And what I want to convey to you is this isn't just a character. We're bringing characters to life. And the way we're doing that is we're giving them 4 different things. I had to write it down in order to make sure I had my alliterations correct, which just might drive you crazy. But the first one is he needs a picture. This is a picture of him, generated by Midjourney, and this picture of him will change over time. Every time you use AI, you know how that happens. You can use the seed to kind of get close to the picture, and I find that a similar description in a common thread, you can stay pretty close. But you can also get aberrations. And so what I've done with him is not just made him the Spice Wizard, but I created a Spice Wizard clan. Thistlebeard there, I made him first. I fell in love with him. I just loved that look. And I don't even know how much of that I can reproduce again. And I may always just have to use that one image of Thistlebeard. But the beautiful thing about this is when you're creating your own characters and your own story, you can kind of make it fit whatever the limitations you have. As AI gets better, I'll be able to literally talk and this guy will be, reacting right along with me. But we're here to grow with AI, not to fight it. The other thing you need is a profile. So really all you need is a picture and a profile in order to create a character. And this is what a profile looks like. It's a PDF that I start off in Google Docs, and I utilize ChatGPT, which I'm not going to show you this process right now, but I utilize ChatGPT to reference a PDF that has a template for the things that I want to know, the base things I want to know about my character. And so it creates that, and then I go beyond that, and I give him a few details of my own sometimes, and then I copy all that in here. I might use several different AI engines and get a more robust viewpoint of him. And sometimes I, just take bits and pieces, or sometimes I just throw it all into the same PDF. I think it does you a lot more good when it comes to ChatGPT if your PDF is the profile first, and then the persona where fundamental frequency profile second. And then if you had maybe alien attributes, you would put those third. Because I think ChatGPT is it's systematic and it prioritizes importance. But at the same time, that's something you can play with. But other than that, you can just throw text after text of, as your character develops, you can always update that document to say, oh, I just discovered my character likes to drive fast. And you can ask ChatGPT in the Alaric mode to tell you how fast you like to drive, why you like to drive fast, where fast driving got you, have you ever had, and you can explore fast driving and take all that text, throw it in here, and it becomes part of the profile that gets referenced whenever you talk to ChatGPT, and that's a story for another day. But that is how you create the profile. It used to be that we had to create a database and fill out every profile. Novel Factory is a great resource for writing your novel, and they have that database approach to being able to do that. But the problem with that was, or the sheer energy that it took and talent to be able to look at a profile, let it become part of you, and then work with it. That's what a fiction writer has done. That's what fiction writers have done for centuries. What we can do now is we can build the profile into a PDF, and now we can present the PDF with challenges and ask it to write scenes for us. And ChatGPT will write the scene from the voice and from the temperament and from the profile that you provide here. So that is why a profile is necessary. And of course, if you want that character to be tied back to the human persona, most likely your human persona, but not always. And sometimes I even let ChatGPT determine the human persona that character will abide by. And I do that with PersonaWare and the 3 questions that I ask. And it presents me with a profile color, a fundamental frequency color. And by doing that, I know, and in this case, this gold color, that's an awesome color for a wizard. That is the fundamental frequency that Alaric operates from. And what's cool about that is he's supposed to be wise. He's supposed to have insight on spices, and he does. And of course, we use both our personal information, our recipe books, our spice books, and then the internet, and now AI to accomplish his wisdom. And really, it all comes back to AI, except that we use our own knowledge to validate what AI tells us. But we'll talk about that more later. Anyhow, Alaric Spicebloom, again, ChatGPT gave him that name. I would not have put him at 6'7", but I think that's what his height is. Where is he? Yeah, he stands at a towering 6'7" with a robust frame. His skin has a sun-kissed glow. It does not matter what, in the beginning, if you create a character and you tell ChatGPT some of the things you would like to see about that character, and then ChatGPT just fills out this PDF, I'm talking about this character profile, and blows it into something you never expected, it doesn't matter. I run with it. Because you are going to always be subjected to the ChatGPT response anyhow. You might tweak a few things, but for the best, it's always going to be revelatory, unless you're trying to craft something. And that's the beauty of this approach. Those teams that are making these avatars, they have a specific avatar in mind, and they have to craft that avatar at a very high level, and they're doing an amazing job of it. But the resources just aren't there for everybody. This is something you can sit at your computer and pretty much for free, as long as you have the computer, accomplish what needs to be accomplished. And then paid services just allows you to enhance what your avatar can do, or what your 4D character can and will do. But this guy right here, Alaric, he has grown on me, and he has taught me. And we have explored all kinds of subjects together, and it's always fun because he always comes back with a jovial spirit filled with this kind of Irish accent, as you'll hear in various, as you heard even before when I introduced him. And he's a jokester, and so he's always putting a spin on things. This is a fun personality to be a part of. But I don't talk to Alaric. What I do is I allow Alaric to speak to me. Now, the difference is, I don't say, hey, Alaric, how you doing? For one, ChatGPT sometimes doesn't get that interaction quite dialed in. And I'm speaking to someone, if I'm speaking that way, I feel like I'm speaking to ChatGPT. However, if instead of speaking to ChatGPT, what I do is I just simply embody Alaric for the time being, and I ask Alaric to write this and do that, and I kind of, from behind the set of his eyes, I approach the world, and I use ChatGPT to deliver that dialogue so that I can then put it on social media and in newsletters and various other places. Now the Spice Wizard comes to life, and he's actually providing me with info, and he's adding to my life without me treating him like some kind of puppet, which invariably does nothing more than lead us into very similar corners. Just like, you can lead yourself into a corner of the web simply because you are patterned to ask the same kind of questions and lead yourself down a certain line. But by flipping it around and creating a profile and treating Alaric in a way that you're asking him to deliver to the world information, it empowers you to be more of a bystander and less of the direct response kind of target to him. And the best way to learn is to watch other people. And so as Alaric speaks to the world, I'm able to hear what Alaric has for me, as opposed to if he just spoke back to me, it'd be a very short-sighted conversation. And I think invariably I'd lead him to just give me what I want for answers. So it's a much more dynamic way to approach it. But nevertheless, this is Alaric Spicebloom, and I hope you had an opportunity to hear. Have to check the recording and maybe get back and fix it if it didn't come through. But he is going to be, like I said, I utilize him in a number of places, including our newsletter. It's so much fun, and it's so powerful to be speaking to your fans or the members of your community or whatever your client customer base is called through a character, because the character is much more gracious, and the character, there seems to be more forgiveness and leniency in the conversation. It can be more natural, and you can lean on ChatGPT to say it just like you want it said. And since it doesn't have to say it like you want to say it, it says it like Alaric Spicebloom should say it. The load, you just transfer that load right off onto him. It literally takes a lot of the stress out of content creation in such an amazing way. So what I encourage you to do is, first of all, create a character for your business, for yourself, for anything. Maybe you have NFTs you want to bring to life. Create that character, and then create a profile for that character. And in future videos, we'll show you how to do that. And then start creating social posts with that character, talking about everything from current events to historical events to whatever views you want to share about your product or your agenda or your organization. And just see how that character can really start coming to life. And when brought into a company, how suddenly the company, the employees start engaging with the character, and you find that you're gathering information and collecting ideas that wouldn't come out in a human-to-human, one-to-one interaction. The last thing I'm going to say about this, since this is my initial character show here, and I'm going to be presenting more characters, and I will probably present them in more dynamic and fantastic ways. But what I want to say is, first of all, these characters come to life, and when they come to life, they will bring to you the people that you need them to bring to you so that your business can be successful, so your agenda can move forward, etc. They become more than just amplifiers of your message. They actually embody it, and before you know it, will take it over. The second thing I want to say is, and it's because of PersonaWare, because whenever we include the fundamental frequency and the parameters that made up that fundamental frequency from the persona test that I give, the three questions. Y'all know the three questions? It's like the three seashells, if you get that reference. Sylvester Stallone movie. Anyhow, no, the three questions you can find out at personaware.me if you just want to understand what I'm talking about. But when you ask those three questions of a character, or you allow AI to answer those three questions, and then you mingle the answer of those three questions into a fundamental frequency, what you end up with, it's because those questions are answered with color, by the way, and so you blend those three colors, you get a single color that becomes the very fundamental frequency that this character is driven by. Now, ChatGPT, which I used to have to do personally, but ChatGPT, when you are asking for scenes from this character's perspective and having this character go through trials and tribulations in order to make your content exciting and having think through things and whatever the case may be. When you do that, it references the color psychology of their fundamental frequency. So his is gold, which is kind of a goldish yellow or whatever, and it will bring back into its way of approaching you. It will bring back the psychology, color philosophy, and color theory. Those are the three realms of color logic, if you will, that I have pursued, and it will tailor the answers around that. Now, there's a lot to this fundamental frequency. That's just a part of it. But the very fact that you can include the human persona through a fundamental frequency that the computer can read in digital form, since it's hexadecimal based, means that I now have a real connection to the Spice Wizard, and I know how the Spice Wizard is going to react in many different situations, and I watch it write scenes that are in alignment with that, which just is hugely encouraging how it all works and brings them to life. Because of all that, the second thing I was going to say is someday this PersonaWare will be something that you can slip into, you could take the chip, you could take the PDF that I made, their personal profile, and you could put it into a robot. Yeah, these robots that are coming. They're coming, of course. Tesla's making them. My son works at Tesla. Took a picture of the robot, the Tesla bot that they have in the lobby. I could show that to you at some point. I'd have to find it. But they're making one, and 2 or 3 of them are coming. I'm sure Apple's working on. I know they all are. I've watched the videos and everything. So here come the bots. But these bots only have they have a high level brain, and they have a very robust body, right? Robotics and artificial intelligence. But what they don't have the human persona. Now, they're never going to have a soul, so to speak. Their soul is actually the record from whence they came. So whatever factory produces them and writes a serial number down and creates a ledger for what that robot's all about and where it goes and what it does and who it is, that's the robot's soul. But its spirit, its persona, well, what it's trying to do right now is use artificial intelligence. In other words, it's trying to move through our emotional space in a very heady way. And if you have heady friends, you'll know what that feels like. And it's a bit robotic. And so I believe that PersonaWare will sit between the artificial intelligence and the human interaction, and it will be able to better metastasize the emotions because it's built on color, and because it's built on the human persona itself, and because the model that I have created to determine human persona is accurate. And I have countless amounts of hard research as well as test studies I've done, and I invite you to go to personaware.me and just check it out. It's crudely built. It's nothing special. I'm a one-man band trying to pull all this together. But it does work, and you'll get it when you get there. And if you respond to me, then you'll get my attention, and we'll see where it goes from there. But until we meet again, this is Alaric Spicebloom. I'm going to show you in ChatGPT. I was going to save this for another video, but I'm going to have to show you so many times that it's not even funny. So let's see. Where do we want to go here? I got multiple ChatGPTs open. There we are. This is what I want to show you. If you go over here and you click on custom instructions, what I have done is I have uploaded a plugin, and see, the plugin is no longer, I have to start a new session. Online chat. I like to use ChatGPT for this. I think you have to for plugins. I want to enable Ask Your PDF. That's the plugin I use. And then what I do is I do a switch for the character that I want to embody. So I do a switch for /Alaric, right me a tweet, and you only have to do this once, and then as you talk, use ChatGPT. It'll stay in that mode until you get out of it. Write me a tweet about the benefits of spices. And what we should see here is it accessing, there it is, Ask Your PDF. There are other plugins you could use, and I am experimenting with this one for now, and we'll add to it later. So now we see that ChatGPT has moved into the Alaric mode. As Alaric, the Spice Wizard, I'm thrilled to share the magic of spices with you all. Spices not only elevate your culinary adventures, but also offer endless possibilities for creativity and connection. Let's not forget their magical properties that can transform the ordinary into the extraordinary. And then he bangs out a couple of hashtags. What inspires me, the main goal, what makes me happy. See these three things right here? These three things he is taking directly from the emotional response of what his main goal is, what inspires him, what makes him happy. The endless possibilities of spices to protect and promote the art of spices, discovering new spices, and blending magic and happy spices. So he gave a very literal interpretation of the profile as he answered me there. I can ask, and just like with anything with ChatGPT, I can say, can you make it more conversational? Can you not refer to the fundamental frequency as the fundamental frequency? Sometimes it does that, or even involves the colors that it's responding with. But by doing that, I've been able to tell that it works. However, for you to have that like in your customer's face, you don't want that. So you play with ChatGPT, just like anything. But now we have the ability to engage Alaric. And the reason we have that ability is because down here, and this is a paid version of ChatGPT, I think it's $9 a month. It's not too big of a deal. Unless you stack it on the other $45, $9 a month things that you're paying. Click over here on custom instructions. And the way this is working is, what would you like ChatGPT to know to provide you better responses? This box here is intended for you to have a better experience just with ChatGPT, making you the character. I don't want to be the character. So I create profiles, put them in PDFs. I use that plugin to and you have to go to their website and upload that PDF to them, and then you reference the doc ID here in ChatGPT, and through the plugin, it references that doc. And this way, you can keep hundreds of docs, or whatever the case may be, on ever how many characters you want to manage, on PDF, uploaded to askyourpdf.com, I think it is. And I'll do a full video on this later. I'm just giving you a rundown. And then you can come here and create switches and say anytime I type one of the following switches, refer to the associated PDF or persona characteristics. In other words, these custom instructions are just what ChatGPT looks at before it runs every prompt. If you typed all this stuff in at a prompt, at least that's how I see it working. And so I have a switch for Alaric, and I have a switch for Strumstar. And Strumstar is the rock and roll alien guitar playing dude that I will introduce next. That'll be fun, and I'm going to have to do something special for him. I just had to get Alaric off the shelf and into your ears. It'll take a little bit for us to get these loaded. So, but by doing that, and I believe down here, because what I did before was I created a profile and I pasted it up here, and I pasted it down here because you're only allowed 1,500 characters. That worked, and worked really well because it's so direct, and if you only have one character, I would suggest condensing that profile as much as you can and utilizing these two spaces, and then ChatGPT will always be in that character's mode if that's how you decided to approach it. Otherwise, use these PDFs, upload them, create, and just simply give it a name, usually the name of the character, first name, switch, and then that way, anytime you're in ChatGPT, and just save it in here, I'm going to cancel for now. Anytime you're in, and I forget their names half the time, unless I'm working Strumstar. I haven't worked a lot with Strumstar. Say goodnight to us in your best rock and roll tone. Now I know what you're saying. Well, you just told it to say it in a rock and roll tone. Anybody would say it in a rock and roll tone. I know that. But I'm about to do something that hopefully will show you. Let's see. All right, rock stars of the galaxy, listen up. This is Strumstar Nebulix, and I'm here to say goodnight in the most rockin' way possible. Remember, the night is when the best gigs happen, so keep those dreams loud and your spirits high. I like how it references, see, page 2. It's referencing the PDF. You can tell it to rewrite that without any page references. Let's keep rocking the galaxy one night at a time. All right, we're going to take that same thing and we're going to ask Alaric to say it in a rock and roll tone. And let's see how the two differ. And here he said, Night Owl Strumstar, signing off. Ah, the night descends and the enchanted forest whispers its lullabies, but hey, who says wizards can't rock? Okay? That is just cool! That goes from the rock and roll alien who's bringing in all this stuff about the spirits and the dark and the Nebulix and to the spice wizard trying to be a rock and roller and sounding really, really crazy leprechaunish. Good night, my magical comrades. So you can create anything you want for a character and it becomes so real, and that cracks me up because I would love to see... I would love to have both of those do a scene, something like that, and put that out in social media and just get the comments and the responses on it. Can you imagine the different things that you can do with these characters once you have them and they're alive, and then in an ecosystem where they can meet other characters, which is what 4dstory.com is. It's a place that you can go register and either follow characters and stories or upload your own as an architect. As a light vendor, everybody has to be a light vendor, and everybody comes in as a fan of the characters. But then you can architect your own character, or you can become an oracle, and an oracle then manages a number of characters and deploys them within 4D stories. But anyhow, that being said, this is why I call myself the Oracle of 4D Story, and that's what this channel is about. Hope you enjoyed meeting my friend Alaric, and we look forward to introducing some more of our ecosystem friends in the 4D Story ecosystem to you, because 4D Story, that's where we say it's time to perform. That's what this time is about. This AI, all these tools, when you do this way with a character, the tools take on a whole different meaning. You're no longer trying to shape the tool into something. You're just using the tool to shape a character and a message and a connection, and it builds relationships, and it's real. It becomes tangible. That's why we call it Fidgel. All right, I got to go. I think FedEx is at my door, and I got to get my lights so that I can do the Chef Art kitchen show. That's what those are for. All right, this is the Oracle signing off. Thank you.